Hello, hello, my friends. AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my face and my card making space. In a video using some of the Waffle Flower March 2026 release, I will have a link to the release in the description box below the video. Always worth checking out. Super cute. This month's theme is baking themed and so good. More postage collage goodies. I used one of them for today's card. I will do another video using the others because it's all just so good. It's so good and I need more hours in the day. Anywho, I will also have a link to my playlist in the end screen at the very end of this video with videos I've done using the Waffle Flower postage collage products. If you're not familiar with them, this has been going on for 2-3 years now. I forget exactly when the first postage collage die came out originally with Waffle Flower, and then in that time over the years, more dies, tons and tons of stencils, stamps, add-ons, mix and match. And the beautiful thing about the vast majority of it is you don't have to have the postage collage die. It doesn't need to look like postage stamps is what I'm saying. There's all kinds of other ways and you can cut things down. And even what I use today, you could skip the postage elements of it, really, if you wanted to. So anywho, it was fun. I love it. I got a thing for making little faux postage stamps for my cards. And as always, I will have links to all the things in the description box below the video. My links are affiliate links. That just means that if you click on one of my links and end up placing an order, I do get a little kickback from that at no extra cost to you. That is what helps keeps the lights on, keeps my heaters running, enables me to keep bringing out content. And yeah, let's get into making the card. So I'm using the Nesting Postage Collage Baking Fun stencil set that's from the March release. And I'd already die cut some white cardstock using the solid dies, like the straight dies basically, from the Nesting Postage Collage die set that came out a couple years ago. It was a while ago. And that die set has these dies that do this large rectangle, the circle, and the narrow rectangle. And then there's dies that do like the actual postage edge, which with a bit of a stitch line, which I'm also going to use. But this is what I'm talking about, where ones like this, you can just use them as is. You can just trim a rectangle of cardstock, die cut a circle, trim another little rectangle. They don't have to be postage themed at all if you don't want them to be. And especially with this collection, because there's several stencils they've released that with this larger style and then the circle, and they're all combined on the stencils. All of these ones, just like I said, you don't have to do them in a postage theme. Same with the other ones though, as I was saying. You could still do all the stenciling, do a layering, and then instead of die cutting it with the postage dies that they coordinate with, there's other dies like block ones that do straight, but obviously you can just use a paper trimmer. So options. I only say that because I've had a few people reach out to me and tell me how much they dislike the postage theme, which to each their own, honestly. That this hopefully will just give you a few more ideas, but honestly, I love it, because it's kind of just it. For me, it just makes sense because it's what we do. We make cards and we mail them, and postage stamps are fun. And I don't know, I just like the theme personally. I really do. But to each their own, and it would be boring. It would be boring if we all liked the same thing. Anyway, let's get back to the actual making. So, like I said, I had just die cut white cardstock, stuck them to my grip mat, and then I'm using a variety of Concord and 9th inks to add on my colors. And thankfully, I put them all on screen while I was doing it. Because, I forget all the time, what I'm using. And I used mostly the Waffle Flower, just the regular blending brushes. And then for some of these, I start going into using my 1+ brushes, which love. I've literally bought a second set of these because I keep one set for lighter shades, one set for darker. Convenience. And just adding all my colors. I made my little mixer pink. How fun would that be? My mixer is silver. I love my KitchenAid mixer. You know, I've had that thing for 15 years. Yeah, something. I've had it for a long time, and it's still going. So wonderful. Anywho, I am a sucker though for like cute kitchen, you know, bakeware, that kind of stuff. But at the same time, honestly, it just gets wrecked in the end, like stained and anyway. I did all of that. And then for this little circle, it does this little cute little cake. I love it. And you can kind of see it here and there. I've talked about this many, many times with the waffle flower, like layering stencil sets, any other layering stencil sets. There's a ton of detail on the stencils themselves, like all these little etch lines and numbers. And depending on the type of the stencil, sometimes it will also give color suggestions, all of it. That on top of the packaging itself. Almost always on the back of the packaging, there's usually a layering guide. If not, it's usually also online. Like so many little resources because, like I always say, especially with any layering sort of stencil set, it always helps to kind of just do what is suggested. You know, follow the colors they suggest or whatever that first time to kind of wrap your brain around it. And then the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. For these last little bits, because I want to do 2 different colors, I'm using the Tiny 0 Plus shader brushes. These are teeny, teeny, tiny. Love them for things like this because I don't mind. I did, you know, little bits of masking here and there so I could do multiple colors. But for little tiny areas like this, I don't have the patience. And that's where a teeny, tiny little brush comes in handy. And I had to use all these pieces because, one, OCD, but also they're so cute. The little strawberries, I was like, stop it. These are so cute. So just using all of the same colors that I used like at the beginning for the little mixer scene, using all these same colors to finish off that little cake and then this little strawberry pattern. And like, so cute. So cute. I love it. I love it so much. So when I was done all of my bits of blending, I'd used the like Postage edges dies from that Postage collage set and die cut some light pink cardstock, which also from Concord 9th, that would have been ballet slipper. So I did all of that and then adhered them together. So like I was going on about earlier, you could totally skip that and just have these like panels however you want them and not do Postage edge. But I don't know. It's not just specifically the Postage theme. I like that edge. Like it looks nice. It's visually fun. It's kind of the same idea like why like scallop edges. And of course I've gone on and on over the years. You can't go wrong with some stitching detail with wafer dies. Love it. So after I adhered my layers, I took a white gel pen and just added random little highlights to these stenciled images just to give them that little extra something. Again, that pink little muffin tin. Oh, cute. My muffin tins are hideous because they're old and I use them. I don't care, you know, they're not for display. But that's also why I don't buy like fancy muffin tins because I use the ever living heck out of mine and they just get destroyed, you know. But this is why I like making all these things out of paper and inks and whatnot, because it's like it can look all pretty, you know, on them. Anyway, added all my little bits with the white gel pen. Those pattern papers, do not have a source for. I'll get back to the pattern papers in a second. The sentiments are from the Baked with Love sentiments set. There's the stamp set and a coordinating die set. And those that have watched me, you know, I love anything with puns. It just appeals to me. So I stamped the hugs in every slice stamp sentiment onto the inside of my card, which is a top folding A2 white note card. So I stamped that with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink, and I adhered the circle image to the inside. And then this pattern paper is from Doodlebug. I've been telling you, I've been using my Doodlebug papers. Oh, I have a lifetime supply. These ones are old. I've had them for a million years. I just found a pink graph sort of pattern in one of the packs, cut that down. The large, these two pieces, I die cut using the new nesting postage layers die. Love. And I die cut another random Doodlebug paper and also just a piece of white cardstock, and then adhered that all to my card front. And then I pulled out some just white, I think this is 1/4 inch. Yeah, 1/4 inch like seam binding ribbon, and wrapped that around a few times. Reverse tweezers for the win. Tied that in a bow, and then just kept it simple with the ribbon. I've done other videos where I'll use like sprays and inks and all the things to like dye the ribbon and crinkle it all up, and thought about it, but y'all, I just didn't have time. And I just simple white ribbon, you know. So I put that on there, and then popped up my 2 remaining elements here with a little bit of Big Mama foam tape, just to give them a little bit of heft, but nothing too crazy. Left off the sentiment. We'll add that in a minute, because of course I'm going to add splatter. I was going to do just white and black splatter, and then I was like, wait, I have all the colors of Distress Spreads. I've been talking about that a lot in recent videos, because I wasn't using them for the longest time, because they were in a very inconvenient place. So I moved my containers and now have them like right in front of me. So I use them. Crazy how that works, you know? when you can see things and remember you have them and all that stuff. Anyway, I went through my stash and pulled out a couple different colors. The thing you always have to remember with Distress Spritz is all that shimmer settles to the bottom of the bottles. It needs to be shaken up really, really, really well. So I started with Kitsch Flamingo. Shook it up really well. What I've been loving with the Distress Spritz is I take the top off, like the nozzle right off, and I just dip like a paintbrush into it and splatter with it instead of just spraying with it. And then I get super shimmery, fabulous splatter. So I did Kitsch Flamingo and Fossilized Amber. And then I'm using white splatter, which is just my white gouache that I put on a palette, thinned out with a bit of water, splattered that fairly heavily with my fan brush. And then black gouache for black splatter, which I was very conservative with this. And I think I did quite well, because usually, you know, I'm heavy-handed, can't help it, don't really care. But I did pretty good. I was like, nope, this is good. This is good. So once all that was dry, I could adhere my sentiment, which was from that same stamp set, the Baked with Love. And I just stamped it with the same Nocturne ink onto some watermelon cardstock. Use clear embossing powder, just to give it a little shiny finish, and then die cut it with coordinating wafer die, popped it onto my card. And then my final little bit of embellishment was some Stardust stickles, which you always need to keep that in the back of your mind when you're applying stickles over something that has been inked with water reactive inks, that it can change the color of the ink. Potentially, it just depends. It also depends on how long you let things dry, like the ink that you've stenciled, added, whatever, and how thick you apply the stickles. So my panels had been drying for quite some time. The splatter was dry, and I applied the stickles super, super thin, because I just wanted that little bits of pops of glitter, as you can see. And it didn't alter, but like I said, sometimes it happens. But once I let the stickles dry, this card was complete. So like I mentioned, I'll have links to all of the things in the description box below. I'll have videos and playlists linked in the end screen if you want to check those out. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me, for thumbs upping, commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. I appreciate it. It does help a ton. And I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!